So, today we're going to be talking about balance, government, and privatization. Too much of either will destroy humanity. So basically my political thought is that if we have a government that is overreaching, that's fine until it does not cover the will of the people. And the thing about today, especially in today's political climate, is that we have a government that has been totally bought out by corrupt politicians on both sides. And we're basically a corporatocracy in sheep's clothing. And we don't have the funding we need to basically curb the problems we have in our society, to combat drug addiction, to combat homelessness, and many other plagues that this nation. And basically what I'm trying to say is that I think that you need a balance between privatization and government. And I think the way you can do that is to have certain regulations, certain rules, but you cannot have an overreaching state without it being the will of the people. Because a lot of people say to me that if we just get rid of the government, if we just get rid of the government spending, everything will be better, ha ha. But I don't believe that. I believe that the government needs to be funded in certain areas that help the people. But at the same time, it can't have too much power, but it needs to have effective power. I look at the government as a tool, not a tyranny. So what I mean by that is the government can be used to curb a lot of the problems that plague society, but if we use it in the wrong way, like give tax cuts to the rich, give people the fucking bread and circuses, I think that's a wrong move. I think that yes, we need private capitalism, and we also need to basically curb government overreach, but at the same time, you can't have a government that's ineffective. You can't have a government that plans to do stuff in the name of the people and then they just scrap it. And you also need to protect human rights. I really believe this. I believe that the government needs to protect human rights, but at the same time it needs to have authority. And I think that the government today, at least in the United States and the Western world, they are crumbling. They are very, very much crumbling. And I just think that the government needs to do its job, and it needs to basically focus on the sectors that needs funding, but it also needs to be very reformist. It needs to reform its institutions. Because I don't believe what the Trumps are saying, oh, we're going to get rid of the Department of Education. I don't believe that. I believe that we need government intervention in certain areas, and we also need to find ways to stimulate the economy, just get it going, And I just think that we need to really just, because the thing is that they say if you're interventionist, or if you believe in government programs, or anything with the evil government, I believe that I'm not like a communist. Like a lot of people have mixed opinions on me. They say, oh, you're a communist, oh, you're authoritarian, oh, you want the government to actually do its job. But I think the government really can fix some of the the private sector's ills, especially big business and just many inequalities that exist within the system. I think the government can fix that, and it can also give people employment, especially on public works. And I think that the government has great potential. It just needs to do its job, and it needs to do it right. And I think that the government needs to actually serve the people, but also needs to be revolutionary. It needs to think differently. It can't be so outdated in its mindset. It needs to have new solutions that are inclusive and also are effective. And that's why I believe on the government. I believe that you need a balance between government and privatization, because if you don't have a balance, humanity will be destroyed by the uneven distribution of power between the private and public sectors. And I just think that the government needs to do its job, but it also can't become a fascist state. At least not. Like, the thing about a communist or fascist state is, like, a lot of the things about socialism you could be for, but the thing is that the problem with a lot of authoritarian states is that they are very unrealistic in their goals, and you need to have realistic goals for the people, and you also need to represent the community at large. So that's what I'm trying to say here, is that I believe that the government needs to do its job, but it also needs to have some private capitalism, needs to have some competition, but the government needs to step in. And I know that's going to be very unpopular because, oh no, Reaganomics 101, the government is evil. But I don't believe that. I believe the government can do its job if it just does the will of the people, and it basically curbs the inequalities that exist within the system, but also isn't too overreaching, and has a democratic goal in mind, and actually does the will of the people, like I said, and just helps curb inflation and creates jobs and helps people in need, but also even helps the rich, because if the government intervenes in the economy, it'll actually help businesses, because it'll build them roads that they can put their trucks on. It will give them more resources. It will expand their portfolio, and it will actually make them in competition with the government, because I know that you guys are going to say, oh, well, if the government intervenes in the private sector, the government will take over the private competition. No, it won't. No, it won't. Listen, even if we have public housing, it will basically make the realtors get out of la land, and it'll actually help them have cheaper prices, more competitive prices, more fair prices. And I just think that the government can curb a lot of the ills. We just got to use it correctly, and we got to actually run for office in the districts that we occupy. And we need to, from both the left and right, we need to come together as one. And I believe that this is not 1984 if you have government intervention. I believe that government intervention can be used for bad, aka the Nazis, or good, aka post-World War II America, whatever, I don't know. But that's what I'm trying to say, is that America needs a new system. And if we can't do a new system, we need to at least have government intervention, at least up to the post-World War II standards after World War II. When we were building houses, we were building highways, we were building infrastructure, we were supporting the troops. They could all afford something. So I think that's what we need to do in America. We need a balance between government regulation and private capitalism, or corporate world. Either one that has too much power will destroy humanity. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, my name is Gabe Stone, And I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, let's have a balanced government that works for all.